Hey everybody, welcome back to Talk Norwich City. Jack Reeve here. I hope you're doing very well indeed. It's February the 1st, which means it's transfer deadline day. And I think this one is going to be a relatively quiet one. I'm recording this at 20 to 4 in the afternoon. So to call it a January transfer review is fairly punchy considering there's a bit of time left. But I don't expect there to be too much business done for Norwich City on the final day. I think this is a really nice point every season to look at the transfer business that's been done and also where you sit in the league and are you achieving what you want to be achieving. Norwich City are top of the championship table in a fairly cushy position. This feels like a really pivotal week though and an exciting week for Norwich City. Millwall away on Tuesday evening and then Swansea away on Friday evening, and that could be a really crucial game to see where teams will lie come the end of the season. The reason it feels pivotal is because we're off the back of a fairly disappointing result against Middlesbrough. I think a point against a fellow playoff chasing team isn't always bad. I think the manner of the performance, no shots on target, and Emi Buendia now being suspended for 2 games was the sucker punch. But I don't think Daniel Farke will be too disappointed in the grand scheme of things. I think if you look at the majority of championship teams, if they put in that kind of performance, they would have lost against a Neil Warnock Middlesbrough side. And I think it was very telling to see Neil Warnock almost joyful in the fact that he managed to pick up a point, especially considering the fact that they were down to 10 men for a good proportion of that game. So we put that behind us. We are basically 3 points clear. I think we can expect Brentford to win their game in hand, although stranger things have happened, which would then leave them, I think, 3 points behind us. Swansea, 4 points behind us. Same amount of games played. All could change. We play them on Friday evening. All in all, though, I think having looked at the previous kind of statistics of championship league tables and the amount of points it usually takes to get into the top 2. Michael Bailey predicted that it will take 10 wins and 3 draws from our remaining games. That would leave us hopefully on enough points to take us up. That would be a points per game total of 1.65. That's below what we're currently operating at. So we're ahead of where we should be in terms of a promotion race, and I'm pretty sure we'll be ahead of where we wanted to be from the targets set from Stuart Webber, etc. In terms of the players brought in this January transfer window in general, I think we've kind of nailed it. Now, I know it's early to say that, but the kind of aim and the target from what I wanted to see, and that's probably very different to what Stuart Webber wanted to see, but it was more about retaining our assets rather than bringing more in. I think consistency in the squad is sometimes overlooked, and I think consistency in that starting 11 is sometimes overlooked, and we've suffered with consistency in terms of the players we've been putting out, mainly because of injuries. I look back to that defeat at Luton. We hardly had a fit first 11. We didn't have any senior players on the bench that evening. We were having to bring on youth players, and that really cost us points. We're through that, and we've now got a squad that looks incredibly strong. Really good squad we put out against Middlesbrough at the weekend, but the really pleasing thing was looking at that bench. Hernandez, Poeta, Ida, Stiepermann, Tete, experienced, quality, proven footballers that will hopefully be enough to propel us into the Premier League. So the ins so far, Dimitris Giannoulis, which is the marquee signing of our January. Orjan Nyland, the goalkeeper who was previously at Aston Villa, he's been brought in. Look, I don't think we're going to be telling our grandkids about this signing. We'll get onto that in a moment. And then Sebastian Soto, I've put him on my list because we've recalled him from loan, and the comments surrounding him from Daniel Farke, he's certainly in the first team plans. We wouldn't have recalled him otherwise. I think he described as the door being wide open for Sebastian Soto if the opportunity arises. In terms of outs, not much going on. Carlton Morris, who I must admit I thought we'd already sold, has been sold. He's gone to Barnsley, so that's a good move for him. Giannoulis is the exciting one here. not only because of the calibre and the way that people are talking about Giannoulis and the clubs that have been previously interested in him, but that was a position that looked weak. Javi Quintilla has obviously had a fairly long-term injury. He was the man that started his Norwich career fairly promising, got the injury, then we were in a bit of bother because Sam McCallum had been loaned out. Up comes Jakob Sorensen, performs brilliantly. A couple of mistakes in there, but on the whole, considering he's not a left-back, a remarkable job and added a lot to us going forwards. Ballymunba, could play there, and I thought he was really good, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. He picks up an injury. It was we were light in that position, and I think Giannoulis will now be the go-to man instead of Quintilla and also instead of Jakob Sorensen. There were a lot of people saying, how did Giannoulis perform at the weekend? Far too early to tell. Kept a clean sheet. For me, that's a tick in the box already. Exciting. Nyland, now he's going to be our number 2 now, from now until the end of the season. 30-year-old goalkeeper, still got a bit of an injury. On the surface of things, very uninspiring. Also, could be a really good bit of business for Norwich City. And these are the types of signings that, if they don't work out, it's not a big deal. Hardly any money involved. The player isn't expecting too much. He's probably here, gets a wage, tops up his fitness, has a club, happy days. But experienced player, 30 years old, has played Premier League football recently and did a good job at Aston Villa. We'll be having Dan Bardell from the Villa View on this channel, so if you want to know more about Nyland, then watch that video. It might already be uploaded, if not later this evening. And will be Tim Krul's number 2. Michael McGovern was, of course, the number 2. He's out until pretty much the end of the season. I think we can chalk through that. Then you've got Dan Barden, who filled in fantastically. But in my head, and I think in the head of Stuart Webber, what happens if Tim Krul gets injured in February, March, and then we're relying on a 19-year-old goalkeeper in a title push? It would be a lot for Dan Barden to take on his shoulders, and I'm sure he's good enough, and he would have, scoffed at the opportunity of that. I just think it would be very unwise to go into a title push, charge, knowing you've only essentially got one senior goalkeeper. So bringing him in, no issues with that at all. Sebastian Soto, look, I don't know loads about this chap other than he's very highly rated by the football club, and there's obvious reason why we've brought him back. So 3 kind of signings, all with a reason, and you can see the reason, and that's the promising thing. And the big thing, touch wood, there is wood here, we haven't sold Emi Buendia, Todd Cantwell, Timu Pukki, Max Aarons, Tim Krul, all remain at the football club. Big statement from Norwich City. They could have quite easily sold Emi Buendia for big money this transfer window. They didn't. They held strong thanks to our fantastic planning and financial know-how of Stuart Webber in recent years to put us in a position to have that kind of bargaining power. Not many championship clubs would have the bargaining power to keep Emi Buendia at their football club. Lengthy contract, financially sound, so we don't have to sell, and in a position that we can kind of say to Emi, look, see it out till the end of the season, hopefully we'll get promoted, then you've got an option. You can play for us in the Premier League or you can go elsewhere. Let's just get back to the Premier League, which is brilliant. So all in all, really promising January transfer window. Kept their assets, added a few to it. Nothing too much changes. The cohesion's there, the consistency's there for a second half push towards that championship title. And how good would it be to win it again? Because it was magical the last time we did it. Very different this time round, but still in a really promising position. Have you been happy with the January transfer business? Let me know down in the comments section. 2 watch-alongs this week. Millwall, 5:45 will be live on the YouTube channel, and then quite a late one on Friday, 8 p.m. live time for Swansea. That's a big game, so be sure not to miss out on that one. Hit subscribe to Talk Norwich City for all of the best Norwich City content. I'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.